And I hate to say it because it's not necessarily true, but it's like it's as if me not having children and a baby dad of some sort or ex-husband or husband of some sort makes it's like I'm getting taxed for just being a sovereign individual. So because of that, I have to rely on different things a little differently than other people, being completely self-sufficient. So what else? Oh, and Salon. I am your energetic strategist, Jalloh. Shout out to the replay gang. What's good? Welcome to another beautiful Sunday, but it is a snowy Sunday. It is on my side of the internet. We just got our winter snowstorm here in the Northeast, and she is coming down. She's coming down and she is sticking. So because of that, we are taking it easy. We are getting cozy. As you can see, I'm in my robe. So I want you guys to go ahead and get all your things that you need. You get your planner, your cozy robe situation, your tea, of course, and any other writing utensils, journals, things like that that you think you may need. Now, this portion of the video, if you are watching on the replay, is the lobby. We are waiting for our lovely, beautiful people to join that are part of our community to join in. Some people are still coming off their Sunday to-dos, such as any community services, work, getting their children together, various things, yada, 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 groceries, laundry, all the things. So this space is used to chit chat, mingle, vibe check situation where you could just get yourselves together. I'm also getting myself together. I have a tea that I'm going to brew like I typically do for you guys. And I think honestly, we might do something um, that's not necessarily having to do with the kettle today. I'm thinking a chai tea concentrate. I need something warm with some strong caffeine in it. So let's do that. Since we're not using the yogi packets, we're going to have to let spirit tell us what the mantra of the week is, which I'm sure is going to come out as we move along the session. So, yeah, welcome again. In ways to support this channel, before I forget, make sure you are liking and subscribing across platforms. Okay. So if you are on YouTube and this is the replay, you should be liking and subscribing just so I can see the data of what y'all like, what y'all don't like. I'm still trying to grow. So I need to see where the numbers are. And the best way you could show me reciprocity is by liking, sharing, commenting, okay? Even hyping, because I think that's a feature now. Across the platform. And then as for Substack, same thing. If you are following me as Jalloh Reborn, you don't always know what's going on the retired elder daughter publication side of things. So make sure you are following me and you are also subscribing to that publication as well. I don't email too often or anything like that. So make sure you are able to do that. There is a paid tier on there. That's even more of a way you can support me. And then I also have cash links such as Jalloh Reborn on all cash links such as Cash App, PayPal, all the things if you want to support me that way. But honestly, what I really need from y'all is liking, sharing, subscribing so I can see who is really feeling this energy, okay? As I'm putting out, right? Let me see, is there anything else? I think that's all the announcements. So I could say this again once more people come. But yeah, for now, I'm going to put on some music for you guys, get situated. I just might switch into a sweater situation. I'm feeling that instead of a robe. But that's just me. Y'all want to be in your robe, in your cozy clothes? Remember, we are lounging, we are relaxing, we are letting the energetic knowledge come down and tell us how to proceed forward. Okay. We are moving into our sovereignty. Okay. So we do what we need to do to make ourselves feel good. Okay. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and play something. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
And when we're making love, your crazy thing is hurting. Slowly touching us. Everything comes back. Every time I look into your eyes, I see your every time I get a feeling so I feel I'll take some time just to get up on my days full of you. No, before it winds down there, the memory it's all I should always talk about somebody to you something like me before so should always talk about still you are feeling like me. Honest, things.
Can explain me why your love makes me weak. Ooh, ooh. Hey, oh, how do I pronounce this? HFLF? I'm gonna assume that's how you wrote it. So that's how you want it to be pronounced. Welcome. All right. So we already got people coming in, which is great. So yeah, let's make our tea and then we're gonna switch over like usual and go over to the table and start our planning for the week. So again, make sure you are getting your supplies, your planner, your journal, your what else? Your writing utensils, things like that. Tea for today, since it is snowing, I'm thinking peppermint teacup with a chai coconut milk latte infusion. I might throw some apple syrup in the mix. We'll see. But that's the vibe I'm kind of going for. The only thing is, where is my peppermint cup? I don't know. Oh, she's back here. Okay. I've been doing some rearranging, so every time I think something is where it's supposed to be, I forget that I moved it. And I'm the only one that lives here, so it's like I can't yell at nobody else. I can only be mad at myself. So, oh, and I was making a smoothie earlier, so let me put this away. Okay, so how I like to do is this microwavable first off? No, it doesn't say. So let me get my microwavable cup. Okay, let's see. Damn, I want to so, so yeah, let's use this for right now. I'm gonna use this cup. 'Cause this is also microwavable, but this is the cup we're gonna actually use out of. So when it comes to my teas, right? My chai tea to be specific, because I can't do coffee. Coffee makes me a little too jittery. So I typically go for concentrate. I usually get like the loose leaf chais and brew them in my French press and then save them in the fridge throughout the week. And that will be like my emotional support beverage for the week, especially when I used to teach. But I've been going the a little bit more lazy route and getting the concentrate from the grocery store. So this is Rishi, is a really good brand. This is called the Masala Chai. But lately, I've been really into turmeric chai lattes. So they also have that as well. So as you can see, it's basically done. There's still so much in here. So I don't know. Now I'm like, do I want turmeric? I kind of had turmeric in my smoothie already. So maybe I should go with just regular chai. And then we'll do like apple syrup or something. Hmm. So while we are here working on our tea, Let's shake this up. Last week's mantra, let's do a little bit of review on last week and maybe the month even overall. Last week's mantra was about what? I think it said communicate and love. The essence of life is to communicate and love. So life is communicate and love. Yeah. And then I also said something about measuring yourself in love. Because I had to get in my professional spice bag, where I needed to I had a very negative interaction with a agency of sorts, and frankly, the lady had me fucked up. Can I curse on here? I don't know, but that's how she had me. She had me utterly and completely, like, lost her mind. She didn't know who she was dealing with. So what I did was form an army and get several officials to go at their door, and still in the process of getting my needs met. But also, I shouldn't have to do that. But you see, when you've been handling a situation for over a month and shit not progressing, there's only so much. There's only so much niceness I can do. And I'm not even a nice person. I consider myself a kind person. I can be very petty. So I had to get in my professional spice bag. That also involves pettiness. So I called several officials, got them knocking at their door. And I'm getting my stuff handled. And I better have an answer this week because I'm not dealing with it further after this. Um, so all of that to say was when I was communicating in love, I had to measure my love for myself because I really need this need met. Like, it's integral to my well being, especially being in grad school and being a single individual. There's so much single tax that you don't even realize. Like, it's almost like, and I hate to say it because it's not necessarily true, but it's like it's as if me not having children and a baby dad of some sort or ex husband or husband of some sort makes it's like I'm getting taxed for just being a sovereign individual. So because of that, I have to rely on different things a little differently than other people, being completely self-sufficient. So what else? Oh, and I like to put a little bit of water in here because the concentrate mix can be a little intense. So that's her. And sometimes I like to put like my little supplements and stuff like that in there, but I already took them today, so we don't need to do that. So let's warm her up. So yeah, speaking of like having to measure myself in this loving way, and communicate in this loving way, it was self-protection, self-regulation, you know? So that's why when I was like, no, I can lovingly put my foot up your that's what I was talking about. That's exactly what I was talking about. Because legally I can't hit you, but I can hit you where it hurts, you know? I can hit you where it hurts. Your pride, to be exact. So, um, that's how that happened. But I think in other ways, when I think about like communicating in love, yeah, and measuring myself in love. Um, it was also Valentine's Day week, so I did go out on a date, several dates actually, and it was nice. Um, And I met new friends as well in addition to that. Like, I wasn't fully anticipating the platonic love entering my life, but then I also got to enjoy some, like, Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year festivities as well just yesterday. If you follow me on TikTok, I just posted a video about my red envelope. Totally cute. I went and saw Kung Fu Panda, took a picture with him and everything. Real cute. Imma post those on Substack too. But it's like it's so interesting how love kind of finds you in these like unique ways you weren't really anticipating. And I'm long way over, oh, being alone on Valentine's Day. Like, Child, I've been single really for like 7 years. I've dated here and there, but I've been single for 7 years. Like, cross that bridge, got the t-shirt, don't need to do it again. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Our tea is hot. I think it's just hot enough for me. Yeah, it should be. Actually, I'm gonna warm it up a little bit more so you can go in that cold cup. It's gonna get pretty colder. Oh, and I also got these thingy boppers. They're in the sink right now. I need to wash them, but this is to steep your tea and then like hold it. How cute is that? And it looks like a flower. How cute is that? Anyway, so y'all go ahead and comment below how last week's mantra affected you. And I don't know, tell me a little bit about your week. You know, if you're watching the replay, definitely comment below. You know, and if you are new, the mantra of the week typically comes from our tea bags that we use when we're in the lobby section of the live, where we're waiting for, you know, stragglers to come in and things like that. Do their thing. And we kind of like somehow imply it and work it into our weekly planning. So since we're not doing a traditional tea bag today, we're gonna see maybe the mudra or the self-care card that we pull for the week might be able to give us some insight on what like the actual theme of the week is. Okay, she's piping hot, piping hot. Self-care, right, Lowell? Love. Oof. Hopefully I don't. Ooh, no, I'm gonna spill it. Hold on. I'll put her sleeve on. Whoops. It is 5:12, and it's gonna get darker really soon because it's snow. It's a blizzard basically outside. So I'm going to try to be quick with the daylight as best as we can. There she go. She didn't fill the entire cup because she's only 8 ounces, but that's all I really need for real, for real. So there's that, and then I have. What are we thinking? Cookie butter or apple? 3 seconds. Comment. Cookie butter. Okay, let's go for it. So just a tad, just a smidge. And the creamer that I use is also vanilla flavored, so I don't want it to be too dang sweet. And then I'm gonna put smidge of cinnamon for sweetness, in addition to abundance, because we can always use more of that. Okay. So yeah, again, one of the many ways you can support me and my in this platform is by liking, sharing, commenting, and even hyping if it's on YouTube. This video, you'll see plenty of short form content as well coming throughout the week from this live as well. Little tidbits that I like that the Substack platform creates for me. So I think that's it. I think that's all that I'll make will do. MIT. Let's mix her up. She's bitter. She needs a little bit more love. Need a smidge more love. I'm gonna put this like superfood cream that I also have in there. She's so bitter. Is it my tongue? Maybe. What's going? No, maybe I need more cookie butter. Okay. Because I don't play about my tea. My tea will be right. There she go. You just need a little bit more cookie butter. Okay. Let me take my tea and my iPad over and I'll come and pick y'all up. And then we can start planning. Let me stop playing. Let's go. Thanks. It's not a thing. Oh, I can't explain it at all, baby. It's just a feeling. Okay. Yeah, something like this. It's not my laundry. Not what I want to go to. How are you feeling about that? I should make y'all taller. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Okay, beautiful people. So go ahead and get your planners out. This is mine. It has 17 months in it. Got it from like the local Marshalls. Um, and we are going to get into some esoteric principles that can help support the week ahead, right? Oops. So I hope you took this time to reflect on how last week was for you, because the good thing about this system, which is what I call the window of opportunity framework, is that you are planning cyclically so you can see and easily understand the patterns that are coming about in your personal life. And the framework is so general that anybody can use it as long as they understand like those they are willing to understand how the esoteric principles are. And these esoteric principles are related to nature. When we look outside and we see all the things that are going on, like a snowstorm, that a city does have the infrastructure to maintain. If you're like in PA like me, and don't choose to like properly plan, that affects you. When the global stage is a hot mess and countries are fighting with other countries that don't need to be at all having any issues at all, fighting or conflicting for no reason when there's better things to worry about. When we can't look outside of us and the external keeps showing us negativity, where can we go? Where can we look to? We can look internally, but we can also look to nature, which is also an external force of like who we are, right? So that's why I created this window of opportunity framework because there's so many times that systems in society have failed me. I've been homeless twice. I've been destitute and had to rebuild multiple times. I've lived in other countries and I had to just make it out the mud myself. I am a single living being, sovereign being, so I don't have any like organized religion to go to. It's literally me and my ancestors and spirit, of course, like that have been making do and are the reason why I've lasted this long in anything that I've done. So this came about just from trying to find routine um and encouragement where there was none. When everything was telling me I was crazy, I was lazy, I was weird, I was caring too much, or I wasn't caring enough, or I wasn't disciplined or hard enough. It's like, no, this was showing me like I actually was. And those systems weren't built for me in the first place, especially when you are neurodivergent, especially when you are disabled, especially when you have a chronic illness. Like none of these systems were created for anybody other than workhorses in human bodies, right? So that's why we look at it. So from last week and the week before, we talk about aligning the days of the week to the planetary system, right? So some of the days actually have the word of the planet in them. For example, Monday is Moon Day, right? Saturday is Saturn Day. And each planet has its own themes and energies. So we take a little of those principles from esoteric principles from astrology. We take some esoteric principles from how the day starts to the day ends. So instead of a 9 to 5, which is like a very linear process, and you know the foundation of the current work system and our education system is based off being factory workers, if you know your history. So instead of doing morning to evening, because again, etymology, we're also taking principles from etymology that say your tongue, the power of your tongue is the most powerful force. So if you are saying good morning, what is good about morning? What is good about death in this point of view, right? And then when you think about evening, where things are like evening out, that kind of puts you in this like neutral space, you know? Whereas like it's half and half. It's like, no, this is rising and rest instead. So instead of good day or as they used to say, good day or top of the morning, those are better terms I like to say, but I think rising and then rest is a better way to flow. So that way you know you're moving around, especially as women. Women move in a cyclical nature. We all have cycles. Even if you are a woman that doesn't have your period anymore for whatever reason, you still move cyclically. We still have our luteal phase. We still have our menstrual. We still have our follicular phase. The world moves in cycles. A lot of nature reflects feminine cycles. So we're gonna put that in. Take all of that I just discussed, and we're gonna put it in a weekly foundation that we can anchor to. When all that shit going on outside is a mess, right here is where we can turn to reflect and be like, nah, it's not as messy or as crazy as it seems. It's all a projection. I'm the sovereign of my domain. I'm the center of my universe, and can't nothing take me off my square. Okay. So let's look into the week ahead for Sunday, the 22nd. Oh, and it's also an angel number day. I think it's considered, some of the astro girlies are like, oh, karmic something something, Saturn and Aries. I know astrology, but I don't know no astrology. Um, Saturn and Aries has just kicked in. I think Neptune is also in Aries. It's also Pisces season. I'm a Pisces. My birthday is in like 3 weeks. I'll be 31. Look, y'all don't know how long I've been waiting to get into my 30s. I feel like my whole life has waited to get to 30. Like I've always been an old soul, even when I was little. So anyway, let me not get caught off by too much off topic. But there's a lot energetically going on, and today's one of those big days that we plan for the week. So the reason why I say the week is going to start on Sunday for us when it comes to planning is because we're moving cyclically. Society tells you because of the Gregorian calendar, which if I highly encourage you to look it up. But the Gregorian calendar was really more for the Roman belief system at the time. It really doesn't have anything to do with like really working and supporting like the lives that we have now. Very outdated systems that which is why I call myself your energetic strategist, because if we're not using strategy at this time and we're being a bunch of like spiritual warriors, then how effective is that? You know? How are we getting anything done? You know? So I feel like with spiritual warriorhood, you also need a strategy. And when you think about it and look at all the period dramas and all the historical texts, every warrior eventually became a general, eventually became a consulate of someone they could go to for advice or an advisor of some sort. They became a strategist. They graduated into that. So I want to give the spiritual community and anyone else who is inclined a framework that they can manage and focus on that is unlike anything they've seen, but also something that has been around for eons, right? I'm just putting it down on paper. That's the only difference for us. So because the beginning of the week is Sunday, according to esoteric principles, because why? What do you think? Sunday, what star or planet corresponds with Sunday? Can anybody take a hint? Go ahead and comment below. 3 seconds. Sunday, yes. So Sunday, I'm sorry, the sun. Sun corresponds to Sunday. So because that is the brightest star in our galaxy and it's the one that sustains all of life, especially here on Earth, we are going to start planning on Sunday. And then we have Moon Day, Monday, Tuesday, Mars Day, Wednesday, Mercury Day, uh, Thursday, Jupiter Day, and Friday, Venus Day. And then the end of the week is Saturday, Saturn Day. And I'll explain as I go along. So go ahead and get your pens out. And we are planning because this day is pretty much done for the most part, but we can at least start with the basic framework, right? So Sunday is Sunday. You're going to go ahead and write Sunday like we did last week. And it should look like, did I write anything important on there? Just going to fold this for a second. So as you can see, you have Sunday and then you have Sunday. And I just put a little line to kind of show the difference. And then you're going to also put rising. So that way you know what you're doing for your morning routine, right? So it'll be your rising routine because that's whatever time you get up. And I also put morning because not all of us are morning people or early birds. Some of us are night owls. So some of us prefer to get up at 12 noon, because that's what works better for our lifestyle. So it doesn't make you feel bad because you're not this 5 a.m. girly like how all the TikToks and content creators are like belting out about. So it keeps it very neutral because whenever you rise is whenever you rise. So that's rising. And then you have resting, which is again, no guilt nor shame if you go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning compared to like a 9, 10 p.m. bedtime or even 8 p.m. bedtime. Whatever works for you is what works for you. It takes away that comparison energy, right? So let's do that. So we have rising and then we have resting. Boom. And then if you had anything where you did what you did today where you were outside of the house, I would put out, AOUT. And then if you were home all day like me, then I would put in. Or you can do, what else did I used to do? Like, you could just put errands if that required you to leave your house, or if you had any home care, you could write home care. Like, whatever you want to determine is your internal world when you're home, that's whatever you can put. And whatever you want to put for any time of external thing. Like last night, I went out with some friends. So that would be social hour for me or socializing time for me. I will put whatever I wanted to put that correlated with whatever my needs were, right? So for now, we're just going to put in and out. So I was in all day. So for me, today consisted of sleeping and I slept in. I slept in, but I also stretched because I did yoga because my body was feeling tense and tight and I want to increase my flexibility. And I had a smoothie. And then, of course, I had hygiene. I did manage to do my hygiene and also clean my bathroom a bit. So that consisted of my rising routine. All right. So, again, that's what I did this morning before I came and met with y'all. And then I'm also going to put that I met with y'all. So, we're going to put Sunday Tea Salon at 4:44 p.m. Out. I was thinking about going out, but no. It really was just gonna go. I really was just gonna go down the street to go do something, but honestly, no, I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna adjust and pivot as I should, right? So let's take that into consideration. And resting would consist of I have some homework to do. So homework, some laundry, and tidy going on. I don't think I'm gonna cook today. I don't think I need to cook anything. I might prep something, but that's a maybe. So, as you can see, my day ends when I say it ends. My day rises when I say it rises. And I keep all my autonomy. Okay. I'm not worried about what's going on in the economy. It's not necessarily something to be worried about. Like being worrisome is not healthy for you. You don't want all that stress, anxiety to manifest itself into a disease, right? So when I say I'm not worried, it's not to say that I don't care. It's just that I'm mindful of my currency, which is attention, which is the most profitable thing that you could have in this world. And I'm using it strategically to be placed in ways that can benefit my well being, right? So that is that. Sunday is done. So let's move forward into next week. The rest of the week pertaining from Monday the 23rd all the way to the 28th, right? And then we have Sunday, of course, which we'll plan on next week and so on and so forth. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the days of the week so I can show you guys. And then, oh, you should also have a highlighter if you don't have it. I think I forgot to mention that. Have a highlighter because whatever your planner looks like is for you is what's going to work for you. So Monday is moon day. We're just going to put moon and day, or you could just put the actual like planet. You don't have to put day or anything. Um, so Mars for Tuesday, Mercury, Jupiter for Thursday, and then Venus for Wednesday. Anybody else born on a Friday? I wonder what that's called when your birthday finally lands on the day that you were actually born. I don't know what that's called. I think my birthday kind of it hits on a Tuesday, on a Mars day this week. I mean, this month coming. So, or this year, I mean. So I'm not sure what that's called. I might have to ask one of my astro buddies what that is. But you have your Saturn return. You might have like some type of like daily return. I don't know. Child, I really don't know. One day I'm gonna get into astrology for real. But until then, this is what I got. So, and then Saturday is Saturn day. So I want to make it abundantly clear that you do not have to micromanage your system. The purpose of the system is to show you where your attunement and your alignment is, not you forcing it. Okay. So as I was saying last week, I typically have my therapy sessions at the end of the week, but I changed it recently because I realized like, oh, it's better for me to have my sessions on a Monday in the middle of the week or the early beginning of the week because Monday connects with Moon Day, it's the start of the week. And also those are like laggy days. People are just coming in from the weekend. Sometimes it's a 3-day weekend. So it's not always, it's the most a flexible day of the week for a lot of people when you think about it. Most people um, give themselves those 3-day holidays, whether it's for doctor's appointments or it's an actual holiday in the calendar, right? So I thought because it was connected to the moon and the moon rises and wanes and it waxes and then it disseminates as well. You want to think about how whatever uh typical tasks that you do, how it aligns with that. So I moved it to Mondays because I knew I could always be available on a Monday. But you might be slightly different. So again, you're gonna do what works for you. These are just examples, right? So I'm gonna put the rising. Oh, I didn't show you guys how I did the days. Sorry about that. Boom. See? Monday, Moon Day. See that? Tuesday, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. Okay. So since the moon has to do with emotions, it's a great time to like journal. It's a great time to reflect, which is what therapy is all about for most of the time, and like self improvement and things like that. So I'm gonna put rising, boom, boom. I'm gonna put rest at the bottom, or resting if I want, and then I'm gonna put my in, which is therapy at whatever time, right? And then I'll put out if I happen to have errands. So let's say I have some returns to do. But if the weather looks crazy as it is going and all these weather alerts, let me see. Um, Currently, the moon is waxing. According to Moonly, the moon is waxing. And according to some astrology facts, Venus is aligning with Jupiter and it brings a bunch of affection and so there's some self-love. And then I have a beautiful affirmation from Noni here that says I'm beautiful and everybody loves me. So maybe that might be our mantra. I'm not entirely sure, but I know that's a personal thing for me. So yeah, so if the weather is nice, I'll put returns. And if the weather has been like 40-degree and up, I'll even go for a run. But we'll see how this weather looks. If not, then I'm in the house and I can adjust from home. So then what would my resting routine would be? I would just be like, again, homework. I have a lot of homework to catch up on. So I would be doing homework and I will, yeah, I think I need to build something. I have some furniture I need to build. So let me just say, be furniture. That's if I have the energy for it, but we'll see. Okay. So that's that. That's Tuesday. I mean, that's Monday. So then Tuesday now is Mars Day, the planet of action. the planet of speed, the planet of, at times, aggression, you know, the planet of calculation, okay? Strategy. I like to think. When I think of war, I think about these things. Um, I think of forward movement, right? It's not always a negative thing, right? So Tuesday, we're gonna put, well, let me show you Monday before I move on. So that's Monday. Boom, boom, boom. And then Tuesday, what I got going on? So this is now when I'm looking back at the month ahead, my monthly calendar. Let's see. 23rd. I have class that day and I also have a meeting to go to. So I need to be on campus early. Okay. So that's good to know because I completely forgot. And this is why we write things down. Okay. So rising and resting. And honestly, I might not even give myself a lot to do that day other than just make sure I catch up on my readings for class. And I get to campus early. So my in would just, I'm just gonna give myself out. I'm not even gonna do in. I'm gonna say campus early for meetings and class. And let's see, from like 4 to like 7:30, I'm blocking that out for school, whatever relates to school, right? And then resting, I plan on chilling. So like maybe some TV, some hygiene, of course. I didn't write that on Monday, but I think that's pretty obvious. But maybe it might be a bath. I might give myself a bath to look forward to, like little things. It really be the little things, y'all. And one thing I love about living alone and having my privacy and, being self-supported, not in this hyper independent way, is that like my world truly does rely on me, you know? Like I can make my day as great as possible or it can be as bad as possible. Like I still have my agency. Oh, bless me. Confirmation. I still have my agency no matter what. So when it comes to making life when it's ordinary and boring. I was just watching Michelle Obama talk about this. Like, so there's a lot of times in life where you're just in the middle. Things aren't really awesome, things aren't really bad, but you're like just in the middle. And little things like taking a bath is one of those ways where I like come back to myself and I'm just like, it's like romance. It's like loving on yourself, like this, all the little things. Cheers to that. Okay. I'm gonna give myself a bath to look forward to. I need to turn on the light. I feel like it's dark enough now, or do we have a minute or two? It's 5:44. So make a wish, child. Okay, and then yeah, it's just a chill day. I don't typically like to stack too much work on myself on a day of class if I can help it. So yeah, there's that. And then if I'm still not done building that furniture, I will say build furniture. Okay, so that is what I'm doing. And, oh, we haven't done the little line in the middle that I typically like to do. You can kinda see it through the paper. And that's any, like, excess errands and assignments that I might need on this side because I have so much space. It's just easier for me to break it up that way, but you don't have to necessarily do it that way. Again, your planner is your planner, you know? The framework is the modular system, right? So, let's move on to Wednesday. What's going on Wednesday with me? Like, Wednesday, I have to upload for Substack something. Typically those are my article days. Ever since I started doing these lives, I haven't really felt the need to like post articles consistently, but I still want to. Like there's so much that I think about and that I write out in a rough draft that I don't post yet. And I'm just like trying to get back into scheduling myself. And since Wednesday is the day of Mercury, which is clearly communication, it's a really good day to pull on that energy of connection, of community, of media, of verbalizing things, and making things concrete that you wouldn't necessarily think of, or outward thinking that makes people ponder and intellectualize things that you wouldn't necessarily have thought of. A lot of like brain blasts or like eureka ideas often tend to happen when Mercury is in effect in whatever capacity. So if Mercury is also doing some type of like unique transit around that time and you get a Mercury day, that's a huge potent energy for whatever domain of Mercury connecting you want to do. So for me, we have rising because I'm always want to keep up with my routines. Let's see. So rest. Well, and we have in. So that's pretty much a day where I plan on staying in the house. But it depends on the weather. So the weather is a big factor to consider this week because as you can see. So we'll see. But let me just say that Substack, or let me just say hour, platform hour, because I am building my platforms. So if there's any pre-planning I need to do, like the lives for the month of March need to be scheduled in advance. So I'll just put down schedule lives. So that way everybody knows. Because as we grow, everybody knows that we have some type of consistent model that we follow here. And then out would be any errand that might need. I'll just put a question mark next to it. But rising again would be, of course, hygiene, movement of some sort, and then maybe some tidy up, some home care of some sort. We'll see. Or meditation. Yeah, meditation. I'll say meditation or affirmation of some sort. And then if I'm in the house, it will be some type of like tidy of some sort. There's always something to clean when you're living by yourself, right? How many people we got watching? Cool. That's awesome. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions while I turn on the light. I've been talking for more or less an hour. So I know this is brand new. I know this is out the box. So let me know if you have any additional questions. If you're watching the replay, you are more than welcome to comment your questions. No question sounds dumb. I promise you. I've been working on this thing for 2 years and I just found out that it was more for y'all than it was for me. It was something that I was meant to share, you know? The light is on. The light is coming to give back everything the darkness stuck. Stuck. What he say? I will play that for y'all, but I don't want to get copyright on YouTube. The light is coming to get back everything the darkness stole. What he said, what she said, you don't miss it because you know everything. Any Ariana fans? What make dreams come on, break that shit. Yeah. Yeah. Let me give y'all a minute to catch up. So we did plan from Sunday to Wednesday. So I'm gonna give y'all a chance to go ahead and write down play some music for y'all, write down your week so far in that same framework. I don't typically plan my whole week for y'all. I just wanted to give y'all some guidance. And then you can ask your questions as you go along for the next few minutes. Okay, welcome back. I hope you had a decent and fruitful planning session, even if you were just stuck in the house all week, but you want to get things done that you typically wouldn't have time for. This is a great week to do it. I was looking over my month and I was like, wow, for the last like 2 weekends or so, I have been doing the most. So I am very grateful for a very slow and intentional week of just being in the middle of not having too much to do. Well, I still have homework to do, but like it's not gonna require me to do a lot. Like if I leave the house, it's because I want to go to a cafe. I still have like returns to do that I could do, but I'm just watching the snow clouds go by. Um, I do have returns that I could do, but like other than that, and like I still have to go to class, obviously, but I don't have to like go out, like socializing. Nothing really came up for socializing this week. I don't think it will. But we'll see. But I'm looking forward to just getting back to myself and getting my house in order because I've been out so much. My house is always lagging. I think if anybody watched that Shonda Rhimes interview where she's like, if I look like I'm doing well in one area of my life, rest assured there's another area of my life that is sorely lacking. Like you never can have it all done. So it's like don't put that pressure on yourself, you know? So that being said, while y'all were planning, I went and got the make yourself a priority box that we pulled from last week. And I also have the Nudra deck that we pulled from last week as well. Somatic practice, activity practice for us to focus on throughout the week. Did anybody get a good night's sleep? Because that was our card last week. I struggled with insomnia because of my what phase am I on? My luteal phase, I think. So yeah, I didn't get a single good night's sleep per se, but I did get some good naps. Like I've been getting some good naps in lately. Like what? Like it because my dreams have been so chaotic. I don't feel like I'm resting. And that just comes with the territory of being a spiritualist. Yeah. Like I have no other of just explaining mystics. We sometimes it's great, and other times it's like it be happening to you, you know. So get a good night's sleep. This card was the one we pulled, so I've kind of made it and met myself in the middle. I had really good naps. So, and I did divination for myself as well, and spirit was also echoing the fact that I need to rest more. I was like, well, I've been sleeping. I changed my sleep schedule and other things. I was like, okay, maybe I should nap. Add napping or like not forcing myself to be speedy in all the little things that I do. Especially when it comes to like getting my life together and like handling my finances. Speed is not your friend when it comes to finances. And I'm gonna write more about that as well. I already have it drafted up, and that's gonna be one of my articles coming out fairly soon at some point. Um, editing be in the way. Sometimes I wish I could just write and just post it, but like you gotta be making sure your grammar is okay. You gotta make sure you are politically correct. You gotta make sure like you're not just like talking about like fake news, just like all these different things. So sometimes that's in the way. And as somebody that's neurospicy, oh, we want to wait and all that stuff. But patience is a virtue for real. So get a good night's sleep was last week's card. I hope y'all were able to um get that. Comment below if you were or if you weren't or if you were able to take naps like me. Okay. So yeah, Spirit, thank you for the gift of divination. What is the card of self-care activities that the beautiful people, the collective, need to prioritize this week? One card would do. Nothing crazy. There we go. Listen to how you speak to yourself. In your head, use kind words. Okay. So it seems like communication is a big theme this week and last week for the month because it is also Black History Month. It's also a month of love um, all around because of Valentine's Day. But when you think of how you talk to yourself in your head, sit with that. Really reflect on that. Really reflect on it. Can y'all see? I want to make sure y'all can see it. Reflect on it. How do you honestly talk to yourself in your head? And honestly, I'm not even going to come at you for real, because I've noticed in my own healing journey that like you may talk to yourself crazy, but are you catching yourself when you do it? Like that's the big win for me. You know, there's countless times, and I'm sure there's a specific circumstance that I'm just not thinking of it at the moment, where I'm like, oh, I shouldn't do this and that, or that's crazy, or I should have known better. You didn't know at the time, but now you do, and that's okay. You know, and it's like it's all these different variables involved. How would you have known? Whether it's something simple or something complicated, you only know what you know when you know it, right? So giving yourself that grace, catching yourself in the moment is really the goal here. So yeah, what I think the card is really asking you more about catching yourself when you talk about yourself. Use kind words like, oh, I really like that I asked questions to the person when I needed clarity, or not, oh, that was a dumb question. Like, no, I'm proud of myself for speaking up and asking a clarifying question, even if it was already implied. You needed more context, and that's okay, right? So that's how I think you should go about that for this week. So we have our self care activities. So I'm going to go ahead and write down self care. Listen and catch how I always know I'm on the right track when my nose is itching because spirit be in the way. For whatever reason, they be tickling my nose, be irking. So if you see me scratching, that's why. I'm not trying to dig or nothing like that. How you speak to yourself in your head. Use kind words. And I'm also add big up yourself when you catch it. Like, oh, I'm so proud of myself. Or like, oh, I did that. You know? Or shout out to me. Whatever you want to say, girl, that make yourself feel good. I don't know. Okay. So that's what I wrote for myself because I have a note section here on my planner. Okay. What is the mudra? This is a hand practice. If you ever watch Naruto, that's the best way I can explain this to you. If you've ever watched Naruto, and I'm sure most people have at least seen clips of it, there are different hand symbols that you can use to regulate your nervous system, your energetic body, and things that correlate with the chakras. So, spirit, what is the mudra that can best support the beautiful people, the collective, in their energetic week practice? If one card will suffice. Whoa, they said we're not giving you one card. So that's one. And that's it. I'm gonna put those away. Oh, okay. So we have some crown and some throat chakra activations going on. So we have contemplation, which is Danya Mudra, and we also have Brahmara Mudra, which is breath. Um, and they're all in the numbers, the 30s numbers. So 3 seems to be very significant, and 5, if you want to do like the numerology aspect of these cards. So 5 and 3 are pretty significant. And, odd numbers, however you want to go about it. So let's start with the contemplation card. That's the first card I saw. It is the card of integration. It's a card that assists with integration, balance, and meditation, enhances full body balance and health. Benefits support the full yogic breath, allows for effortless meditation. So you are to place your left hand in the lap, palm facing up, lay the back of your right hand onto the fingers of the left hand, bend the index fingers and align them at the first and second joints. Lightly touch the tips of both index fingers to the tops of the thumbs. Relax the shoulders and lengthen the spine. Your mantra or focus would be my mind and body rest in effortless contemplation. Okay? So it's supposed to look like I can't hold it and show y'all, but here you will be in your lap though. So here, connect the index fingers, and then you would just have them like that. But you would be in your lap. I dropped something. What was it? Oh, disregard that. Okay. So it will look like this. Oh, hold on. In your lap. You're just going to take your deep breaths. And you're going to focus on whatever the my mind, my body rest in effortless contemplation. You're just going to relax. I honestly feel very relaxed just doing this just now. I feel like I'm not stuttering as much because my anxiety is like, you know. And with this, your exhale is even more strengthened because that signals to the body that you can rest, you can relax. And that's the demonstration before I get too sleepy on here because I got things to do after this. Um, Next is the Brahmara Mudra, which is breath. And we were just talking about breath. So this card assists with ease, boundaries, and immunity. Okay. Boundaries, even with yourself. Remember, we were just talking about what are we doing there? Speaking kindly to yourself. That is a boundary. Okay. See how it all connects and regulates and things like that. Um, yeah, I think integration, boundaries, and immunity connects with meditation, ease, and integration, So anyway, this also helps with relieving allergies. I also just sneeze, so this would definitely be helpful for me. And any nasal congestion, it is cold and flu season, so This should definitely help. Assist with the immune system. What I say? Opens and directs breath to the head and the sinuses. Okay. So also making sure that you have some sort of humidifier might be helpful this week as well, because even though I'm not sick and I've been sick twice this month alone, thankfully nothing too extreme. Where I was down and out because I kept leaning into rest as soon as I felt something. Um, this has been on pretty much all day because I needed the air to circulate a little stronger because the air is so dry. Okay. So yeah, anyway. Um Instructions: bring the tip of the index finger to touch the base of the thumbs, touch the tip of the thumb to the top of the middle finger, allow the other fingers to extend outwards, rest the backs of the hands on the tops of the thighs, palms facing up. The focus is, or your mantra could be, I sense and open to perfect balance and breath. Okay. So again, you are hand, you're curling this finger, you're taking this thumb to touch this finger, and these two are out. I know it might look backwards because it's alive, but that's how that looks. Okay. Ooh, my nose is itchy. Get off my nose. Okay. How do we feel? Take a second, sit with it. You might be thinking to yourself, this feels dumb. Or what the hell is this? Use kind words. This is a unique experience to me. How wonderful is it that I get to experience or learn something new? See? Not too hard. Not too hard. Personally, I'm starting to feel it right here, my nose, itching. Yeah, it doesn't give you that same calming effect as the contemplation mudra, the dhyana mudra, but it is a meditation mudra, should be exact. So that makes a lot of sense. This one's more about your mental focus. Or is this third eye? I'm sorry, I'm saying, is this third eye? I think there's a third eye, not necessarily throat. I think so. And sometimes the book also gives you like an extra meditative practice to it. So let's go to the book really quickly. So we have 30 and 32. So for this one, it says, bring your awareness to the breath. Feel the breath flowing through your nostrils all the way inward to your lungs. Follow the exhale flow, following from the lungs to the nose. Sense the warmth of your inhale, temperature of your exhale. Feel the breath filling your face and eyes, and behind the eyes, feel the breath, the sinuses, the cheeks, and the temples. Your head fills with the balance of breath. Um, see yourself balancing on your mountaintop peak. High above, feel the body sway with the wind, with the breath, and feel yourself open to balance. That's one imagery you can use during your meditation. Um, yeah, and then this one is imagining a pillar of light glowing from the center of your body through your crown chakra, and it expands and it widens the more you breathe. Send the pillar all the way up to the furthest point you can imagine. As it flows back down, send it traveling down to the core of the earth. And that one is for the contemplation one. Okay. So you now have a self care practice. You now have a somatic practice to focus on. Um, and I'm thinking we might just use that affirmation that I just saw from Moonly as our mantra for the week. So let's do that. So one last time, go ahead and screenshot if you need to. If you want the link, comment below and I will definitely give you the link to these cards. But otherwise, that's all you really need to do. So whenever you feel stressed, angry, annoyed, I'm actually going to take these two cards out for myself because I know I'm going to forget. Oh, no, yeah. Third eye. Yeah, it's right. Ajna. This is the third eye card. This is the throat chakra card. So that's right. I knew what I was talking about. So third eye and throat chakra makes a lot of sense. Okay. Remember to watch how you speak to yourself. Ooh. Mm, that was good. Okay. So I think our mantra is going to be I am beautiful and everybody loves me. Now I can hear in my head, thank you, clear audience, that some of y'all are like, oh, I have nobody around me and I'm not beautiful. Didn't we just say watch how you talk to yourself? Didn't we just say that? Don't talk about my friend like that. Don't be rude. Okay. Why wouldn't it be true? The more you start believing it for yourself, the more the external projects it to you. You know? If the mind really is all, this is your domain and you run it. And if you say you beautiful, baby, you beautiful. If you say everybody loves you, guess what? Everybody loves you, including me. What are they gonna do? Fight you? Beat you down? No. I promise you, more people are more self involved than you think. Okay. So let's go ahead and get our highlighting down. So we can differentiate. You obviously don't have to highlight, but I like to highlight because things tend to get muddled together in my planner. Oh, wrong color. Boop, boop. Okay. And then we have a little self care situation going on here. Okay. And then for the last thing before we wrap up, because it is 6:18, and we typically do this for an hour and a half. Let's talk about the window of opportunity in terms of time blocking, like we always do. So some days are more linear than others, and some days are more cyclical than others. So when we're looking at the cyclical way you want to go about things, um, let's say you have back to back things that you need to do. You need to go run errands. You need to drop something off at the post office. You need to. I keep using the post office because that's something that I have to do. Excuse me. You have to go get groceries, then you have a dental appointment, and then you gotta come home and you gotta take care of the kids, or you have an assignment that's due at midnight, or I'm sorry, 11:59 PM. Um, so all of these things that you have to do is like back to back to back with hardly any space. That's totally fine because the framework can also work hourly and it can also the planetary alignment can also work hourly as well. There's an app that specifically does it. I will have to look it up and see because I personally don't take it that far. But there's an app that kind of reminds you what hour you're in according to the planet. So there's a Saturn hour, a Venus hour, so on and so forth. Right. So the window of opportunity is on a 24-hour framework, and we talked about it last week, where it's a 24-hour framework. Here we are. And let's say you got 8 to 10 hours. Women need at least 10 hours and maximum 10 hours of sleep. So we try to get that when our luteal phase is not kicking our behind. Um, we can do that. And of course, other environmental factors. And then you also have, let's say you work a traditional 9 to 5, you have 6 to 8 hours of work. If you're a teacher, like I used to be, you're mainly teaching for 6 hours more or less. And then you still have like additional work that you do outside of the classroom. But that's typically that. And then most people, unless you're like an essential worker of some sort, have like 1 hour breaks, right? So self care block windows are typically 2 hours more or less. So you have about 6 hours of time that you could use for yourself where it's strictly you. You could do a hobby, you can nap, you could do some type of movement or connect with your spirituality of some sort. So that is the time frame. It is cyclical because it depends on you. If you are an early bird, early riser, you might want to get things done before 9 p.m. If you are a night owl, then 9 p.m. might be peak time energetically for you. So you can adjust it according to that in that way. But I think giving yourself 2 hours of whatever it is. So even today, for example, right? I really wanted to stretch, but I also really wanted to scroll. And it's just like, okay, I woke up and I just wanted to be entertained. I wanted to feel connection or whatever, even though I literally just connected with people last night. But that's what I wanted to do. And I was like, okay, but I really want to stretch. And if I lay in my bed and scroll, that's not going to make me do it. So I said, okay, let me meet myself in the middle. I have it at the time, I think it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock. And I knew I had to meet with y'all at 4:44. So I said, I have time to stretch and do all of that. Um, I had time to stretch, I had time to scroll, and I also had time maybe to wash the dishes and put them away. I said dishes was the last thing on my priority list. I wanted to stretch and I wanted to scroll. So what I did was get my yoga mat out, get my smoothie together because I knew I wanted to drink my smoothie while I scrolled. And I put my little pillow, my blanket, and whatnot down. I queued up a yoga video on my phone, and on my iPad, I just let YouTube show me whatever is up. I was watching a vlog from Aaliyah's page. I was watching some shorts, so some funny shorts of this chihuahua dressed up for the snow just to go pee and make sure he did not pee on his little boots and whatnot. Like, and I enjoyed that for like at least an hour of just vibing on my phone. And I sat on my yoga mat. You know what I did when I realized, oh, let me watch this vlog? I feel like I really could enjoy this vlog. I did the stretching while I watched the vlog because I was already on the floor and I prepped myself for it. Whenever the energy would come to me, I knew I was going to execute. It just did not have to look like boom, 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 linear. Gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta. I let the energy arise, flatten out, like what's it called? Plateau for a bit, and then it rised again, and then it descended, and it was fine. It was absolutely fine. You know, I got my workout in. I did a little more than I anticipated, which is why the energy built up the way that it did. And I'm proud of myself for even doing that, for meeting myself at the mat because I haven't been wanting to stretch at all. So I supplemented that with stretching in bed when I first wake up. It's modular, okay? It's cyclical. It's also synergistic. That's a new word that came up. Somebody commented on a video that I saw earlier in the week. And I was like, oh, that's such a good word for what I'm doing with this planning session, with this framework that I'm building for y'all, you know? So we're synergizing, we're interconnecting, we're coming back home to ourselves in a way that this world has not taught us how to do. But it's going back to it. It has no choice but to go back to it. Just take a look at everything. Things are falling apart to be built up again. Very much Phoenix energy, right? So that's what I did with my 2 hour block as a window of opportunity. The opportunity was to move my body. And then I know some people will say, oh, that's lazy. You were scrolling for an hour. So what? It's my time. And I was still productive. I got exactly what I wanted done. What's the outcome of your productivity if it relies on somebody else's expectations? Oh, wait, nothing. right? So that is your window of opportunity, whatever it is. You have 3 2-hour sessions throughout your day to do whatever the hell you want to do. If a nap typically makes it hard for you to sleep right away, give yourself 2 hours to nap anyway. If you end up falling asleep at some point and it's only 30 minutes, congratulations. Your goal has been succeeded. You have completed your goal. Your mission has been complete. And you are going to what? Praise yourself for it. Okay. We are talking kindly to ourselves this week. Every week after that, but baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Okay. So, any clarifying comments, questions before I go? Because oh, baby, that's it. We done. It's almost 6:30 on the dot. Let me give y'all some time to type up your thoughts, questions, concerns, statements. Okay, beautiful people. Shout out to the replay gang. If you are watching this after the fact, it is more than okay. Again, you can apply this to any week. We are just focusing on a week of the timing of this video format. Um, so yeah, last chance just to show you guys what the week is gonna look like for me. And every day I tend to look at my planner and I see what I got going on. If I need to adjust, I adjust things. It is what it is. Um, being really like hard headed and stiff about your movement throughout a week tends to build a lot of tension and resentment. So I encourage you to have an open mind as you move through the week. However, this week unfolds for you, I look forward to hearing you guys tell me all about it in the comments below. Make sure you are liking, sharing this. Again, that's a really great way to show me reciprocity um, is by helping me build this channel, by liking it, showing it to your friends. And at some point, I'll be announcing the wait list for one-to-one sessions where we can energetically, strategically plan your week, your month in advance. So when life is knocking at your door and the unexpected comes, you don't feel too off kilter. You are able to have these strategies to come back to and flow throughout the rest of your week. Because I feel like you could conquer anything with this method personally, but that's just me. That's just me. And honestly, I prove it every week. I really do. It shows itself to you. And it's so funny how the opportunities that come to you when you use this framework. Did I tell y'all how many free things I got this month? I was counting earlier today while I was getting ready for the day, and I was like, I got like 6 free things this month. I got 6 free things. So let me tell y'all real quick what it was. And maybe should I show y'all what they were? I don't remember all the things off the top of my head right now. But there is this hydro jug mug with the 4 autumn checkers. Y'all seen it around. I'm sure you've seen it around. If you're online like that, you've seen it around. It's brown square checkered, very similar to like my pants, but the brown version, right? On those. I feel like I look like a crackhead going like this. Promise y'all, I don't even play like that. Let me tell y'all some girl had the nerve to ask me if what's my favorite drug and if I would be willing to trauma dump with her last night. It was this platonic speed dating thing that we were doing, and that was all she wanted to talk about. Ma'am, I am not willing to be a clown in your circus. Back up. That just made me think about that. But anyway, what I really want to tell y'all know the auto checker mug? Sold out everywhere, couldn't find it anywhere. I hunted for it. For whatever reason, I was like, yeah, I need this in my life bad. But I wanted the one with the top handle. I don't like the holding the thing like this when I'm walking out and about. I like the top handle, but the top handle was sold out. So the only place that I saw this pattern was on this website called Shills. And I ordered it around, not realizing I ordered it around the time that the snowstorm came. But everything happens for divine reasons, right? So I was like, I really want this, but it's real crazy to be spending $35 for a water jug. And I have so many different water jugs, but I really wanted it. And I was like, whatever, sparks joy. If I got it, I'm gonna use it. Like, whatever. It's like all my bases are covered. I can afford to spend $35 on something that I want for myself. Like it's my money, right? So that went it somehow got delivered somewhere else. I'm thinking, "Oh, give me my money back because maybe it's not meant to be, whatever, whatever," right? The day that they processed my refund was the day that it pulled up in the mailbox, and I got the cup for free. It's gorgeous. I love it, except for the handle. I wish it was on top. But other than that, I genuinely love it, and it's small too. I wasn't expecting it to be so small. But it's like the perfect height and everything for me, right? And I was like, "Oh, that worked out for me." I was like, "I got a free mug." Like, it is what it is, right? I went after the post office where I was like, "Where's my package?" And they couldn't find it. They was like, "Go get your refund." I said, "Bet." I got a free hydro drug. If I went to like TJ Maxx, which I did, I tried looking for it there. I didn't see it there because one girl had told me she found it there. Then it would have been like half off, but I would have had to pay for it. It's like, okay, cool. The other thing is I went to the store called Fashion House or something like that. And they had these hats on sale, and I was walking past it to go into a different store, and I saw this hat in the box, and it was like $5, and I was like, "This hat look real cool. It gives retro vibes, vintage vibes from like early 2000s." I said, "I need that hat. Let me go grab it. $5 ain't nothing, right?" So I went. Come to find out, they were having a sale for newcomers if you sign up for their text message thingy. And it was like a raffle thing, like whatever you get is what you get. I ended up getting $5 off my first purchase. That was my first purchase. Free hat, free mug, okay? Alright. What else did I get for free? Well, technically not free this one, but I went to Sephora to go pick up a few, beauty care things. The topicals, eye mask, for example, and the fading thingy was one, and I think something else. Come to find out, and y'all know I like keychains and, like, accessorizing my handbags, like, I'm a bag lady, right? Um, Apparently Sephora had, some collab with Bobble Bar, and they had the little lipstick thingy um, keychain, and it looks just like my my piggy bank. I have a lipstick shaped piggy bank that I've had since college. And I was like, oh my God, it looks just like it. And it's a keychain. I was like, oh, this would look so cute on my black bag that I use for school. So that was 200 points. I had 200 points. Boom, free. That's 3 items right there. It's only February. Now there's more. I can't remember what other off the top of my head. I don't think. I didn't think of anything else. Oh, I got a free soda at school today. Not today, but last week, or was it earlier this week? Because I accidentally, when I paid for my food, I forgot to pick up the cup to say that I was like ordering it, and the lady let me go and just let me take the cup. So free soda. Trying to think what else. That's 4 items. What else? There were 2 other things. I'm pretty sure it's 6 things. But anyway, I'm just yapping for real. But I just wanted to show y'all how sometimes the resources that you think you're looking for aren't gonna come in the way that you think. And sometimes delays and denials are just redirections for your betterment. That $34 went to my Uber for the week for school, or it went toward my insurance bill and things like that. Like there were other plans for that money, but I still got the value of what I wanted. Does that make sense? Yeah. I have other things that are like currently in transit because of the snowstorm. I know I'm not going to get till way later. I'm getting my money back. Like it's just what it is. Like something I was hot and heavy for didn't kind of, and I was so irritated about it. I was like, oh, this actually is working out in my favor. And I'm just like, say no more. Say no more. So I want y'all to look at how abundance shows up in your life in unexpected but divinely timed ways. And I want y'all to come back next week and tell me about it, okay? I don't care when you watch this video. I don't care if it's a year, 2 years from now. I still want you to comment below and tell me what happened, okay? I love hearing those little like miracle stories. I keep thinking there's somebody at my door, but that wouldn't make sense because I'm not on the ground floor outside my window. So I'm just like, it's the tree. It's like tripping me out from my peripheral. That's why I keep looking over there. But anyway, let me go. Let me get the rest of my night started. I wish you guys the best week. I will see y'all next week. Remember to talk to yourself kindly. Remember to use your mudras. Focus on contemplation. Focus on your breath. Okay. Focus on loving yourself and catching yourself in any type of negative space, and even going so far as writing it down in your journals. Like, oh, today I talked negatively about myself, but what I caught myself in was blah, 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 blah. And then you could like comment that down. That being said, I hope you enjoyed your tea. Cheers to you. And I will see you next week. Like, subscribe, hit me up in the cash sheets if you feel like donating. Subscribe to the Retired Elder Daughter publication, paid or free. Either or is fine. Just show me that you love this. And I will see you next week, okay? Love you. Till next time. Peace.